Who's that eating all your graham crackers? It's Ricky from All Sorts of Words. I know it's a bit, but that's actually delicious. I have so much graham cracker in my mouth. I was surfing on the YouTubes and I found Mr. Akins from What's on the Comic Rack. And it's like Russian stacking dolls at this point. He had found a video from Colossus Collector that he bid on, where Colossus Collector was showing all the slabs in his collection, and Mr. Akins wanted to show his slabs from his collection. I thought it was funny because Akins' collection was smaller than Colossus, and my collection is going to be smaller than Akin. I only have so many slabs because I'm mainly a raw collector, but I'll give you a glimpse into what my raw collection looks like after this is done. Let's just dive right in. These are every slab I own. How many do I own? I own 8 slabs. That's it. All right, number 1. This is Walking Dead number 122 in a 9.8. This book is so stupid. I was on Whatnot, and it was one of those giveaways where you don't need to be present for the book to be given to you, and I was expecting a pretty expensive raw book to come in the mail, and I opened up this, and I was furious for all of like a day, because I thought that the owner messed up and sent me the wrong book. Whatnot has such a fantastic customer resolution team, though, that they researched my name and everything that was coming up, and they were like, yo, you won that book. We found the footage. You won that book. You don't need to worry about it. And then the book that I was supposed to get came in the next day. But I hate this book. One day, when I start doing convention footage, I'm going to bring this book, and mark my words, the first person who comes up to me and says, hey, I watch your channel, give me that Walking Dead book, I'm just going to pull it out of a backpack and give it to him. That's how this is going to work. Number 2, when I first started getting back into comic books, one of my strategies for picking up really cheap books was to go on to the ending soonest auctions on eBay. Just look up a keyword. I was looking up DC first appearances, and I sort it from ending soonest, and I found this book. This is the Batman #1 Amazing Comic-Con black and white variant cover in a PGX 9.8. I'm trying to get it so you don't see the glare. It is a beautiful cover, but it's like the first appearance of, I think, Gotham Girl and Gotham and Gotham Girl. It's fine. It's in my collection. It was the first slab I had purchased since getting back into comic books, so I have a fondness for it. I do like the cover. It is pretty, but I don't really have any connection to this book whatsoever. It exists. Next, in increasing order of value as we go, this is Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen 134 in a 4.0. Cream to off-white pages. This is the first cameo appearance of Darkseid. He's a head on a computer screen in the very last pages. But I do have a pretty enormous New Gods collection, and you can't have a New Gods collection without Darkseid. Again, increasing in rarity, increasing in value. This is House of Secrets 61. This is the first... You're getting a look at my computer screen. Woohoo! This is the first appearance of Eclipso. And technically first cover, but it's a really crappy first cover. It's almost like the Venom one, where it's just his head. But this is the first Eclipso. So I got this for a screaming deal, by the way. A screaming deal. I'll put the receipt on the screen, but I love Eclipso because he's one of those apocalypse level threats. There's a short list of DC villains that if one hero catches them in the streets, they're calling all of the other heroes. Like, Nightwing's not seeing Eclipso and going, I can handle this. Like, the Flash isn't seeing him and going, I can handle this. Everyone's a liability. He has a terrifying power. His whole thing is that if you fight him when you're angry, he now can control your mind in perpetuity. He owns you until he is defeated or relinquishes his control of you. So if he's fighting Superman and he can piss him off, Superman is now owned by Eclipso. You get that half moon face that you see right there. That's what identifies your control of Eclipso. You get some gnarly fangs and some red eyes, and now he can control you. So it can take anywhere from minutes to hours for him to infect a planet. He's just such a cool villain. He, incidentally, any Spectre fans out there, in case Lunch Money Comics ever watches this, he was the first spirit of vengeance, a rough draft, if you will, from God in the DC universe before he was considered too volatile, too bad, and kicked out and replaced with Jim Corrigan and the Spectre. Next, San Diego Comic-Con Comics #2, in a 9/4, white pages. This is the first appearance. This one's annoying because of the Mylar bag it's in. This is the first appearance of Hellboy. I love Hellboy, and again, this was another one that I got a really good deal. I'll put the do on the doobie. I think this is one of those underrated books that 10 years from now, people will be kicking themselves that they didn't get it now when it was as cheap as it is. I was incidentally in a Dolby screening of the newest Hellboy movie, and I was like, how cheap is this book? And I jumped on eBay, and it was as cheap as you see it there. Couldn't be happier that it's in the collection. This book is a chief candidate for my argument of low grade being better than no grade. I don't care about upgrading this to a higher grade. I'm not one of those people. This is my White Pages 5.0 Batman Adventures 12. Really sharp looking book. That crease isn't on the book. It's like a scratch on the cover. I don't care. I love the DC female characters. I love Harley Quinn specifically, but I actually own the first appearance of everyone in this cover, and sometimes when I'm setting up my 3 books in the background, which you can see over here, oh, there's one missing in the middle. I wonder if that'll come in later. When I'm setting up my 3 books, sometimes I like to put this in the middle and have my Batgirl in the middle, and then I'll have Harley on the left and Poison Ivy on the right. So I don't know. I've never found a perfect way of displaying it, but I do like the fact that I own all 3 characters in the cover. Harley's one of those characters that she's becoming a Batman level character where if you don't like her, I don't know how you can love the DC universe that much, because she's pervasive. She's in the Suicide Squad. She's going to be in the new Birds of Prey that's coming out soon. She's going to be in the new Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie. She's literally everywhere. But if you do love her, it's fantastic. Okay, now we're into the last big 2 books in my collection, both in value and importance to me. This next book isn't the most valuable book that I own, but it is the most valuable book to me. That is Adventure Comics 210, first appearance of Crypto the Superdog, 1955, May 1955, March 1955. I have a whole other video on this channel about how much Crypto means to me as a character, how much I love dogs, and how much he represents my love of dogs. So I won't beleaguer the point here, but this book, I've made the joke before, but this book is getting buried with me. I could sell everything else in my collection, and this is the one that stays with me forever. I love this good boy. I love collecting Crypto covers, and just this, when I got back into collecting after my several year hiatus, the first book on my list of like, what is a holy grail to me? This is my holy grail, and I own it. I'll never let it go. Check it out on eBay right now just to see what the prices are. A 3.0 is double what I paid for. This is one of those books that Reggie Collects is always talking about, where like, if you sell your collection, if you get out of collecting, it's going to be a pain in the ass to get those books back. You're going to pay more. And certain books, they're just going to be astronomical to try to get back. And this is definitely one of those books. Last book, it was my very first video, so that has some importance to me, but it is the first appearance of Kara Zor-El, Action Comics 252, first appearance of Supergirl. This is the most valuable book that I own. This is another one where if I ever found myself getting out of collecting, this book would be out of my reach to get back. I didn't get a screaming deal. I paid market value for this book, but I leave it up. That's the hole in my collection right now. Goes right back there. I also have the... there we go. I'm not a weatherman, so that's hard to master. The other two books on the left and right-hand side of her. The left one is the Adventure Comics, where it's her first solo story. And then on the right-hand side, it's the Action Comics, where Superman finally, like, reveals her to the world and says, here she is. It's Supergirl. Don't you like her? Please like her. Those are my slabs. That is all I have. The reason why I'm not getting more slabs, why I don't have so many slabs, is I consider myself a reader first. I actually enjoy reading these comics. I love taking out a super valuable first appearance and then just like laying on my belly on the living room floor and reading comics. It makes me feel like a little kid. Slabs are useful for me in my collection when I'm getting enormous books. I said this in my video response before to Reggie Collects. If you get into high-end comic book buying, slabs are invaluable because they allow you to know exactly what you're getting when you're in the thousands of dollars buying books. I'm not going to buy a $2,500 book raw. I don't care how much of a discount it is. It's... are the staples loose? Is it brittle? Unless I can pick it up and I hold it like at a con, that's the only way I would do it raw. But like buying online, there's too many variables. I don't want to mess with it. I mean, we've all been in that scenario where we buy a book based off photos. It comes in the mail and it's not as advertised, or there was something you couldn't see. So when you get into those really pricey books, I don't want to mess with those. You'll see slabs added to the collection over time, but they're never going to be those small books. They're always going to be the big boys. I just wanted to show you really quick what my raw collection looks like in brief. If anyone's ever interested in seeing more of the raw collection, I'd be happy to show it. It would definitely take several videos because there's a lot of it, but let's just hop over and I'll show you. Okay, really quick. These are my two key boxes. I denote them on the covers with the keys. I'm sorry, I set my microphone down so I could have freedom of hands, but it's all just random big books that aren't slabs. This is where you get your... I'm just pulling around randomly. Yeah, there's the first Huntress, and it's a Tim Drake coming out issue. Outsiders. That was the first Renee Montoya, first Tim Drake. And, you know, you're like, oh, the small ones. Yeah, then you get stuff like that. There, your first Beast Boy, first Donna Troy. These are just, and they're all random. Old Justice League. This other box over here, those are my Archer Supergirls. Yeah, like, if people are interested in seeing more of this, what this stuff is, how... What's up here? Oh yeah, there's the Atom. New Gods. These are all New Gods. If people are interested in seeing stuff like this, I'd be more than happy to show it, but this is why I don't have much to contribute to slab videos. Just kidding. This is why I don't have much to contribute to slab videos. And this. All right. It's literally 2 days after I filmed that footage with the slabs. I'm putting an end cap on this video just so I can post it and move on with my life. But thanks for watching. If you want to see more of those keys, if you want to see more in the closet, it's coming. I've literally been doing this channel for 1 month. I'm still... This is going to sound super weird. I don't know if I've heard this type of honesty on different YouTube channels, so I hope I don't freak anybody out. Comic book YouTube channels, I should say. But, like, I'm still learning how to be me on this channel, which is odd. I know how to be me among my friends and my family and shopping and day-to-day, but this relationship, this talking to myself, but talking to people is very eerie. So I'm still learning what type of videos I want to make, and I want to do some experimental stuff, like more documentary style, but I don't know. We'll see. So for the time being, I'm just winging it. If you're willing to come on this journey of nerdy self-discovery, please. That would be great. But if you notice this part, I'm not editing just so I can try to elicit a little bit more honesty, a little bit less of a caricature of myself. So any comments that are getting written right now, there's literally no comments on most of my videos. So I will respond as quickly as possible. But yeah, I look forward to making more. This is fun, despite as stressful as I'm making it sound right now. But see you later.